Class 4, 1650. Racing. Hoxo did get out of the gates a little bit awkwardly, back near last early with Imperial Concord. Skip Court bounced well with Mazandaran, who's going to hunt through inside of him and hold the front position. Record again charging between horses to go up and vie for the lead. Oyster's quite handy a little wider from All Friends of Verdane, gets into a lovely trailing spot from Fighting Boy and then Imperial Concord. Hoxo was next, and then two further back to Rock the Tree, and Chater de Cat is last. Lead section slow, 28-2, and Record again crossed and leads from Oyster up second. 2 lengths on, All Friends posted 3 wide on the outside of Skip Court and Mazandaran, and then a length and a half to Verdane, who's on the inside of Fighting Boys. They really drop anchor up front. So much so that Hoxo's racing fiercely. He won't settle. Imperial Concord, Rock the Tree, Chater de Cat last. 700 metres out, Record again, left alone. He's had it comfortable on the speed. Leads by a neck to Oyster, who's also had a comfortable run outside of him. All Friends has done all the work, 3 deep, no cover. Mazandaran sweating on a run with Skip Court in the middle. Then Fighting Boy, Verdane, Moreira will have to weave a passage in the stretch. Followed then by Hoxo, Imperial Concord, Rock the Tree and Chater de Cat. They swing in, and Record again, about to be asked for full bore. Oyster puts pressure on him. All Friends drops off. Fighting Boy, Skip Court weaving a run, Mazandaran, Verdane and then Hoxo, but it's Record again and Oyster still in a battle. Verdane coming over the top of them now. Verdane sweeping to the lead at the 100 from Oyster, Mazandaran and Skip Court, and Verdane coming away for his first win. Verdane from Oyster, Mazandaran, Skip Court fourth. Then Imperial Concord from Record again, Rock the Tree. Followed up next then at the head of the others by Fighting Boy and Oyster, and then a gap away to Chater de Cat. Hoxo raced ungenerously right throughout the event. All Friends sat wide, was near the tail. Well, Clint Hutchison's best bet. Verdane from Oyster and Mazandaran, Skip Court fourth. Very much a sit sprint affair, that one. Lead section was slow and they didn't break any records mid-race either, and Verdane has had the better turn of foot in the stretch. And that's win number 2 for John Moore. And another win for Joe Moreira. 11 Oyster sat outside of the leader.
Well, the double for Joe.
Yeah, that'll put him up to, I think, 40 points in the challenge.
Joe's on Harbour Punk in the next and Ambitious King in the last. So looks like more points to come. That should wrap up the challenge now. Howard Cheng was level on 28 points prior to that. So Verdane, by hauling his first success in 18 starts, trumped for the race by John Moore of his rating of 51.
Yeah, I think John will be looking for another all-weather race. We've got a few the next month as well. He should stay in the grade after that win. He'll carry a bit of weight. But the way he's won tonight, he might be able to pinch another one in the class if he strikes similar opposition. There'll be no reason why he won't.
I just spoke to Joe briefly about that incident that happened in an earlier race when he was on Sledgehammer. He said that he himself clipped heels, so yeah, it was a bit going on there. So he was lucky.
Oh, he clipped the heels of 9 Dragons.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure whether it was 9 Dragons, but as you know, with the sort of concertina effect, he has clipped heels, which put his horse way back, and he's done a good job to finish where he did.
Well, I might have to reassess Verdane a little bit, because to me tonight he looked like a different horse, the way he's just loomed up and just charged away.
All right, out of the gates, Hoxo was a bit awkward, and Imperial Concord, he jumped on terms, but just a little slow to muster. Going back and outpaced Chater de Cat, but working forward. They weren't breaking any records here. Record again, Skip Court was handy, Mazandaran. It was eventually Record again that went forward, and the Skip Court happy just to take a sit in behind now. 3 wide no cover for Oyster, and his rider Eddie Lai just looking to try and get in, but he's not, so he allows his horse to roll forward. It left All Friends wide out. Verdane Moreira, he stayed in a one-off running line pretty much for the first 3 quarters of the race. Didn't want to commit down to the fence, and it was probably a good move the way the race panned out with a lack of pace. In fact, he went down there. I think he came back off the fence, you'll see shortly. Behind him is Imperial Concord, then Hoxo, Rock the Tree and Chater de Cat. but it's just steady tempo down the back and no increase here. So Record again getting his own way out in front. Now Fighting Boy was in a one-off running line. He gets on the back of All Friends, and that's where Moreira pops back off into a 2-wide position. He's just looking for an out now, and it is a little awkward for him. And the field does bunch with Chata de Cat at the tail getting reminders. Skip Court travels well in between them and needs an out. And now Moreira has to sort of wait for Fighting Boy to go to then just to come off heels and come wider. Back to the inside for Imperial Concord. Hasn't really got anywhere to go at the moment. A little bit tight for room. Skip Court's in the clear. He seemed to have his chance. And now the sprint goes in. And it just got a little tight there for Imperial Concord. I'm not sure that there was a run fully established, but he was a little unlucky. But Verdane swooped on them and got the job done. So with the lack of tempo, the race was a little messy turning in.
They've weighed in the last leg of the TT. Bearing in mind there was only $26 of live units. The QP dividends $139.72 and $377.50. First four was Skip Court, 1,303.